wondered why we age? Maybe it's while you watch your parents or grandparents slowly get weaker with time and can't do or remember the same things they could a year ago. Or maybe it's just an existential crisis you're having. What if I told you, though, that the root cause of aging is really in your brain, not all over your body? For many years, scientists have tried to figure this out, thinking that maybe the main cause of aging had something to do with where you live or what you ate or what you did. And even though that plays a factor, we have recently found that the real root of aging is in your hypothalamus. So your hypothalamus is in the base of your brain. It's a really small area, and a lot of times people don't know about it. The hypothalamus is actually really cool because it regulates a bunch of stuff, including homeostasis, so making sure everything in your body is regulated, like your temperature, as well as expressing certain genes and regulating how you eat and drink. It does all sorts of stuff. Now, if we zoom even further into the hypothalamus, we see that it has these cells called hypothalamic stem cells. These cells themselves just kind of exist, but they're actually really important because of what they produce. Hypothalamic stem cells produce miRNAs, microRNAs, kind of similar to the mRNAs that you heard about in the COVID vaccines, except for this one is for regulating gene expression. Now, gene expression is basically whether or not our body decides to activate a gene. For example, you wouldn't want a cancer gene to be expressed, but you definitely would want a gene that would make you really smart. So the mRNA in the hypothalamus is very important for the specific genes that it expresses. One of these genes is the cell senescence genes. So the cell senescence is what causes your cells to become zombie cells. They die, but then they're still there to kill other cells, and that's not good. Another gene that the miRNAs repress is the cancer gene, specifically p53. Of course, these are ones that we don't want, and the microRNAs from the hypothalamus make sure that we don't have them. But here's where the whole aging issue comes in. As we start to age, by the time we get to about our 20s, we start to lose some of these hypothalamic stem cells, and they start to die off. Of course, at first it starts slowly, just like anything else, but quickly it goes faster and faster, and before you know it, you're starting to feel these negative effects of aging. And with it, you're open up to all sorts of different kinds of diseases, especially cancers, which we don't want. So what do we do about it? It's not like we have a magic wand and can just magically regrow these stem cells, but there are some things we can do. The great thing is they're stem cells, which means we can grow them in a lab and put them back into our body. So they're currently doing that, and the way they do it is through a needle. They have this big needle and they fill it up with these stem cells that they grew in the lab. They then use this special tool to put it into your brain, but not into the hypothalamus, into the cerebral spinal fluid around it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds great, but it's not going to work because it's not in the hypothalamus. But it actually does work. The mRNAs are actually oftentimes expressed into your cerebral spinal fluid, and they can still get around the rest of your body. It just might be slower than when you were 10. But hey, aren't we all slower than when we were 10? Maybe at some point we'll be able to magically regrow these stem cells. But for now, this is a great treatment option. And hopefully in the future, we won't have to wither away like we watched other people in our lives do. We can stay young and vibrant for a long time.